Do this live webinar tonight. I'm Eric Roberts. I'm with Apex Piano. I'm the founder and owner. I'm a piano technician by trade, and I've worked with everybody from John Legend to Harry Connick Jr. I've tuned Garth Brooks, Tony Bennett, even guys who plays for Hank Williams Jr., Petra, Toby Mac, all of these people. I'm in Nashville now. I work for Jay Joyce through Neon Cross Studios. Being a full-time piano technician for over 18 years, I finally got to this place where I'm working for some of the biggest producers in the world. Even was called in last summer to work with Coldplay. But I want to give you a quick introduction. If you're here, if you're new to the channel, I am the Apex guy, the founder and owner of Apex, and I started out just as a regular guy tuning pianos and realized after I learned from my mentor this was a crazy business that I could help you guys do the same thing. So this is my wife Emily, my son Augie, and my dog Bear. My son's a homeschool student, and he can do that only really because I found piano tuning. My wife can stay at home, and my son can do homeschool, and I can have a single income family. And this lifestyle I have is only because I found piano tuning, and I was able to do this by having a successful business of my own. And so I'm here today to teach you guys about how you can do that too, and I'm going to show you how you can get started. Are there really enough pianos to make a full-time living? That's what everybody always asks me, and they always ask me like, well, how can you do that? And that's the weird look I get at parties all the time. It's like, it just seems like it's not really even a thing that could even happen, but it's true. There are a ton of pianos. In fact, the world needs piano tuners, and you're in the right place at the right time right now, because many piano tuners retire every month. Men and women who've been tuning for decades, and they built thousands of clients. They just turn off their phones and they quietly retire. So this opens up a really huge opportunity for you guys to be able to do this for schools, churches, universities, music teachers, recording studios, restaurants, assisted living, hospitals, you name it. There are pianos everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to show you inside my business here in Apex, and I have over 18 years of experience doing this, over 100 5-star ratings, and I have businesses that actively tune every day in Nashville and in Dayton, Ohio. So I'm in Nashville. I grew up in Dayton. I left the Dayton market with my buddy Todd. I grew up with him, and he's now the full-time tech in Dayton. And here's what it looks like. Over 5,000 clients, 17 new clients every month that we got last year, over 700 tuning appointments. This is right back into our dashboard. It shows you we had 212 new clients in 2025, did over 773 appointments. And, so when people say, well, can you do this for a living? Well, sure. In fact, my Apex tuner in Dayton works only 3 days a week. And in 2021, here's the 1099 right there. I 1099 him $80,000. He only works part-time in the Apex business, and he's making $80,000 a year. We billed over $150,000 that year. So keep watching. I'm going to answer two things. How did I get here, and how can you duplicate my success? So I'm going to reveal in this webinar, in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reveal the Apex Business Launch Framework. Again, stay to the end. I have something special for you just for watching this webinar. So if you stay in, you're going to see exactly how this happened. Look, TJ made over $50,000 in his first year tuning pianos. He started the mentorship about 2 years ago, started tuning after 2 months. He got right in there, made over $50,000 in his first year. Okay, he now owns Oak and Ivory Piano Company, and he has his own success. He does tuning, moving, repair. All of this launched right out of the mentorship, and I'm really proud of TJ. Karina, she quit working her low-paying job, launched her own business. Now she tunes for MTSU. That's Middle Tennessee State University, world-class recording studios. All big stars come out of there. She writes songs and works on music. Look, she booked her first client through her website, and she emailed churches when she got started and got bookings right away. She was writing this inside the mentorship dashboard where you'll get access to all that too. She owns Greenway Piano Tuning right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. She's a certified Apex technician. Look at that, standard piano tuning over $175 just for tuning, and she's got a pitch raise tuning $250. So those are like maybe she's making over $100 an hour easily doing that. Look, Emerson, Upper Northeast, he makes $600 a day. He was texting me a couple months ago going, man, I'm finally getting to where I'm making about $600 a day when he goes out to tune. And you can see I'm going to lay out the numbers really clearly in this webinar and show you how to do it. But he had already owned a music school, but he thought, hey, I've got all these people, and so I'll do this. And maybe I'll make more money. And then he texted me. He's like, man, I'm making over $600 every time I go tuning. So piano tuning changed my life. This is a huge deal. And it really gave me the life that I can have. It allowed me not to have to get a job. And we're going to talk about that and college and job and trade school. Trades are really rising, and it really did change my life. And one of the best things it did for me was it freed up my time to do what I want to do with my life. And so early on, I was in my early 30s. I'd been tuning a couple years, and I was standing in this guy's kitchen getting ready to take his, the check. I was like, okay, it's $150, whatever. He's writing me a check. And I was looking at his refrigerator. He had some kids on there, pictures, and I was like, oh, these are your kids? He's like, yeah, and they're gone. He said, look, my kids they grew up and they got gone. I worked my whole life. I worked 60 hours a week every day. And he said, like, don't do that to yourself. Don't work your whole entire life and just, get to the end and realize your family's gone. You gotta not do that. And so early on, my son, when he was about 6 months old, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make Thursdays Daddy Day. And so we would do Daddy Day every Thursday, thinking about taking that extra time for my family. And that's me and my son. As he's getting older, we're doing Daddy Days every Thursday. There he is. We're bowling on a Thursday afternoon. And I can do that because, look, I'm my own boss. I can take off when I want to. I can do what I want to. And that's really the beauty of owning your own business. That's why everybody wants to do that. Now, there are stresses to owning your own business, but look at this. On a Thursday afternoon, nobody's at the bowling alley. We can do that. Look, I even take him to work with me. Here he is inside a studio. And here's a picture of the last one. You can free up your time and money for your life. And this is a coffee shop we would go to every Thursday and hang out. And of course, I tuned a couple days a week or in the mornings. I was always just almost felt like I was making full-time pay for really part-time work. And that really freed up a lot of time. And time is huge. It's a huge thing to have. So come on with me, a day in the life of an actual piano tuner, a professional piano tuner that does this for a living. Come with me. Let's see what happens. So I do a lot of driving. I meet clients. I work on beautiful pianos. I play music. I get paid. We're looking over Nissan Stadium in this nice downtown apartment in Nashville. Great piano. I worked on that piano. But this is a day in the life. We're gonna see a little bit of the income, and we're gonna see a little bit of what I would do. So a normal day, I might leave the house at 9:30. I don't like getting up super early and trying to get out of the house. I mean, I get up real early, work on other stuff, but I don't want to get up and just have to be, just rushing out the door. So I'll leave around 9:30. I'll tune. My first appointment might start at 10. I'll make $225 on that hour that I work. I'll take a break. I'll tune another piano at noon. This time maybe I did a pitch raise, so I had to upcharge a little bit, so it's $325. I'll eat lunch at 1:30. Now I'm going to go repair a pedal and charge $275 for that. So in one single day with 3 simple appointments, really easy kind of work, that's $875. Now I'm thinking about this like I was making $875 in my full-time job per week. I was making $800. I think it was $800 a week. And I was like, oh man, I thought I was doing pretty good. Now I'm able to make that in a day, and I can work a couple days a week and be done. But look, how this happened to me was I was a full-time worship leader at a church, and I'd been there about 5 years. And this was right around 2008, when things were really bad, like the economy. The church was running out of money, and they were kind of letting staff go. And I got called in the office on a Monday morning, and that Monday I was told that was it. That was your last day. Sunday, like we can't pay anymore. We're letting people go. And you're the music guy. Look, you got a good team. We'll just let them volunteer. And so you don't need to do this anymore. So I was like, oh man, I was really ready anyway. So it was really a great blessing for me to be able to go, you know what? I didn't have to get up the guts to quit my job because I got laid off. So I went home and I told my wife, hey, look, if I can just get one tuning a day, okay, if I can just get one piano tuning a day, because I had been studying piano tuning. My piano tuning mentor kind of got me into it, kind of showed me how to do this stuff. And I was kind of working on it on the side, just learning. And I said, look, I know that Jack's making about $600 a day, and he's doing it seems pretty easy. Let me see if I can get one tuning a day. If I can do that, I'll match my salary. And that's what I did. So let's talk about the numbers if you're thinking about this as a real business. If you are just getting started and you do 5 appointments a week at $150, that's $750 a week. That's working under 10 hours a week, making about $37,000 a year. Now, this would be great for you if you're doing a side hustle, if you're a weekend warrior, or if you're just going to grow to full-time in the first couple of years. You're just kind of growing slowly. Maybe you're still working your job. A couple of my students right now are still working their full-time jobs, and they're making money on the weekends and on the evenings. And at some point, they might go, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Because guys, listen, if you learn how to tune pianos, it's a skill nobody can take that away from you. Your mind and your knowledge and your certifications, nobody can take that away from you. And it can keep you making more and more money, being more and more successful as you go through life. So, the fact that you're even sitting here watching this today tells me, you have some motivation to change your life for the better. What if you want to turn up the gas? If you're like, man, I want to make more money. I want to make, $80,000 a year. So work 9 appointments a week, charge $175 per appointment, which is still less than what I charge. I'll tell you what I charge here. And then you can do $1,500 a week, still working part-time. That's only 10 appointments a week. I've done like 15 appointments this week, and I'm still barely even working. I'm not working full-time at all. A couple here, a couple there, and you're done. That's better than the per capita income in 2020 was $59,000. The Bureau of Economics analysis say in 2020, the per capita income for the U.S. was $59,000. Now look at this, is $78,000 working part-time still, guys. All right, let's turn up the gas. $175 times $15, 15 appointments a week. Now you get $2,600. Now you're getting up there. Now you're breaking 6 figures with this. Okay, so $250 to $1,000 a week, you're going to do repairs and upsells. I show you in my condition report how to easily upsell a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, maybe $1,000 here. And as you learn and become a master, you can upsell those big jobs. Like I do regulations for $1,500. So, I can do that in 3 or 4 hours, and that's a huge bonus in the week. In fact, one of my students, TJ, he was texting me the other day and he was telling me like this week was huge. He billed this week alone. It was like, I think it was like last week, because it's today, Thursday. So it was like last week. He had done over $2,700 in 1 week. Over $2,700 in 1 week. And he's only been doing this a couple years, guys. All right. So if you get this down, then you have the power to say goodbye to the 9 to 5. Now, I'm looking for people who want to say that. I want people who, hey, marketing ain't easy. Marketing ain't easy. Let's show that up there. The numbers are definitely achievable for beginner techs in their first year or two. Absolutely, you can do it. I did it, and my students are doing it. Some of them are doing even more than me. They call me up sometimes or text me, man, I made this much money, and I'll tell you some more about that. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're killing it. Like, that's great. Dan Danilio Vincenti, do I tune by ear? Yeah, I tune by ear. I use my ears. I use an AccuTuner. I use an ETD method, and I'm going to show you all about that in a minute. But no, I don't use it full, like a tuning fork oral method. I don't do that. So, yes, I do tune by ear. I use my ears. It's very important to use your ears. I would say that I would be called a hybrid tuner. All right. So I'm going to take the guesswork out of running a business. It doesn't matter if you've never run a business, I can take the guesswork out. It's a simple business system. If you follow this business system, you can actually make a lot of money, and it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be affiliate marketing or Amazon, or it doesn't have to be all this stuff. Thanks, Marketing Made Easy, man. Marketing ain't easy. That's true. It isn't. You can do this actually pretty simply just by launching your website, using an automated system like Gazelle, like I'm going to show you how to get online automated bookings, and then you just show up and tune the pianos, and you can make about $175 to $275 profit, plus upsells and repairs every couple hours. So you're making a lot of money. What do you absolutely need? If you're like, okay, I could do this, I think I could put up a website and, go tune a piano. I could learn some skills. You need a simple tuning hammer and mutes, and you need a simple app, okay? And you need the training. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need a tuning hammer and mutes right here. You're going to need an ETD, which is an electronic tuning device, and you're going to need, which you can get even on an app on the phone now. And that's all you got to do. You put in place an automated business system, and people go right from your website right into your calendar. And that's what I do. I just look at my phone. I barely even talk to people, and it's very automated. Before I was a piano tuner, I was a publisher, a writer, and I was automating business systems. So this made sense to me. So what is different about Apex? This person asks, Danilo, I'm going to call him Danilo, asked, do I tune by ear? Okay. So this is what is different about Apex is we teach the ETD method, the simple ETD method app, the AccuTuner, the TuneLab, the Pianoscope. Oral methods take years to learn, even decades. And you know what? I don't even think you can get as good at tuning a piano if you just go with the oral method. And I'll tell you, I don't think I have the slides in here. There's Jack, my mentor, but Jack was tuning by ear for over 20 years. Jack was a professional musician. At 18 years old, he had a record deal with, I think, one of the big record companies, and he had a band, and he was a great pianist. Well, right at the last second, Jack said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go on the road. road. These guys, all these drugs and this rough life. He's like, I'm not doing it. So I don't know. He got like a sense that this was going to be a bad move to go on the road, to go with the big record company and go on tour with this band. So he quit, became a piano tuner. And he's the guy that inspired me to get started and got me started. But Jack was in there tuning by ear for 20 years, okay? And after 20 years, Tim, his buddy, walked in and started using an AccuTuner, and Jack was playing these pianos and goes, Tim, how are you getting these things to sound so awesome? This thing sounds awesome. He's like, look, I'm using the AccuTuner, And so Jack went out and got an AccuTuner, and that was it. He knew he couldn't out-tune it. After 20 years of being a very high-end musician, having thousands and thousands of clients, I think he had over 6,000 by the time he passed away. He was like the main tech. Look, the guy had a ton of clients. He was tuning for a lot of people, and he realized at some point, look, I still can't out-tune this computer. It's faster, it's easier, and that's why Apex is so much different. You can launch with Apex within 3 to 6 months. You can you're going to be in a field tech mentorship. You're not going to be alone. You're going to get lifetime support. You're going to have the alumni community. But because of the electronic tuning device and the ETD method, you are going to be able to skip all the years of struggle and get in there and get paid for quickly. Now, the big four that I teach in the mentorship, and I'm going to kind of show you how I lay this out, because a lot of people want to know a roadmap. They want to see, like, how's it going to go? You're going to learn to tune, repair, regulate, and voice. All right. And then we're going to launch a business within that learning period. So Jack's main thing was 4 field tech foundations were in the Apex courses: tune, repair, regulate, voice. That was the main thing, right? So there are 4 main modules. There's tuning module in Apex, where in that you're going to learn with ETD. You're going to learn how to tune a really amazing piano, and that's the bread and butter of this business. Once you learn that skill, nobody can take it from you. Anywhere you go, you can work. You can make over $100 an hour pretty much anywhere, okay? And Module 2 is repairs. You're going to learn how to repair keys. You're going to learn how to put on strings, everything you need to do to repair a piano that you're going to do in the field. And this is where you can make more money. You're going to make more money because you're going to have more skills. You're going to learn in Module 3 and 4 in the Master Tech program, you're going to learn how to do regulation and voicing, all right? So all of these together are the 4 main modules. And then you're also going to get a business launch module, which is actually the exact business framework that I use to launch my business, that I use to make all of this money that I'm doing, and all of my students. We're using a very specific business model, okay? And you're also going to have access to the VIP mentorship, where you have me and other mentors in the program, other professionals who are in there, and all of the other students who are on the same journey as you are in there. It's a community unlike any other available in the world. It's the only Apex community, and you can get access to it when you join in the mentorship. All right, you're never alone. This is not a course. This is a real mentorship. So if you have a problem, you can text me, chat me, call me, Zoom me, and thank you, Danilo. It's very inspiring. Good. I'm glad you like it. So you're not going to be alone. You're going to be in the Apex mentorship, and just like when I started tuning, I needed Jack because I was getting myself in all kinds of things. I didn't know what I was doing. And a lot of people in the industry will say, you need to tune 100 or 1,000 pianos before you can start your business. And you need to tune pianos for 20 years to become a pro. And I don't disagree with the fact that it takes a long time to become a master. But I can say that I needed to make money. I needed to start my business. I needed to make this work. And I didn't have 20 years to wait around. And I don't even think that's even smart. I mean, I have another tech that I worked with, and he, after a couple months of training, he said, dude, I got to get out there. I got to get on some pianos, and I got to just learn this in the real world. And so I started sending him out, and now he's killing it. So at some point you have to get out of the la la land of just kind of YouTube, watching videos, reading forums, listening to all these people, and you need to learn those skills that nobody can take from you, and you need to go out there and make money. If you're not going to make money with this, then you're not going to probably be able to do anything. I never would have been able to do this if it was just a hobby over years and years. It didn't make any sense. I needed to do work. I needed to get paid, and I knew that the guys I were around were making a ton of money, and I was just basically in a healthy way jealous, like, oh man, I want to do that. I can make this work, right? So in the VIP community, you're going to have me, you're going to have all these other people in there who can help you, and it's a really great community. It's really what changed the mentorship a lot. It was we launched the community like 2 years ago after we had the mentorship out for 3 or 4 years already. You're going to learn every detail of the piano trade. Up-close field videos are easy to follow, easy to do. You're going to join the exclusive Apex Technician Network. You'll be on the map. People can find you there. So you ask, well, how do I start? Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of how do you start. First of all, you need to enroll and learn to tune pianos. You need to get to milestone 1, which is I can tune a piano in 90 minutes. You know, if you can get a piano tuned in 90 minutes, not 4 hours or 5 hours, then you are ready to start making money. So step 1, learn to tune the pianos, all right? Step 2 is launch your business as fast as possible. So as you're studying repairs, you want to start earning real money working. And then number 3, you want to get your certification and build your business and enter the Master Tech program. So the first step is just getting ready to tune, launching your business, and getting out there, all right? Now, Joe did this, and Joe, in May of 2025, I think he's been in business about 2 years, he did $5,000 in the May tuning, and he upsold over $25,000 in action regulations and rebuilds. Now, Joe also has written a course for us in Apex. He's written the oral. He's a registered piano technician. He's taken all the courses. He took my course and then said, hey, you know, I bet I could pass this RPT test. Went in, passed it like 100%. They were like blown away. They're like, how long have you been tuning pianos? So I said, Joe, why don't you show people in our mentorship how you pass that test so easily? And he told me on the phone during the pre-production of this, he said, look, dude, I wouldn't have been able to pass this without the Apex, you know, technique, the way that you taught me how to kind of set the pen and use the hammer and just kind of practice and tune with the ETD. It was so precise. And so Joe put together an entire course, and it's inside the mentorship now. It's amazing. If you want to become an RPT, you can just take that course and you'll be in the mentorship. You'll be able to get all the highest ranks in our RPT status if you want to. So the roadmap to success starts like this. In year 1, you're just going to learn to tune that piano. You're going to learn common repairs in module 2, and you're going to earn your first certification while you're launching your business. It kind of all happens at once. Once you get over that hump of kind of, okay, I got the piano tuning down, then you got to start your business, okay? You're going to build your business and skill during that first year, and you want to try to reach 100 clients. Like that's one of the big goals is reach 100 clients, and I think that should be in yellow. I really think it should be in yellow. You're going to reach 100 clients. That's kind of your first goal, okay? So after you get your first 100 clients, then you're going to go into year number 2. So you're going to continue to build your business while you're learning to regulate and learning to voice. This is where you can really double your business this year, and this is where it really starts paying you a lot of money. So you're going to keep working your system until you become a master piano technician and you get your certified master piano technician through Apex. And all of this time, though, like I said before, I don't know if you guys caught it before, I do regulations now, and they're $14.75. So one upsell. You could do just that one job for the week and you could be done if you wanted to, right? You say, well, I could just learn this on YouTube. What could go wrong? Look, YouTube's great. I love YouTube. Of course, you probably found me on YouTube. And YouTube's a great place to go. I just never would have made it. I never would have made it. I needed something more than just, hey, here's some videos on how to do stuff. And there's so much information out there on YouTube. I can't imagine just being you guys, not knowing and just kind of trying to figure out on YouTube how to make this. You don't get a lot of chance to fail. I mean, you get to fail and fail and fail and fail. And if you fail like a year or two and you're like, I tried it, I got on YouTube and I did. What I'm saying is if I didn't have Jack, if I didn't have that real close mentorship and the exact roadmap to make this work, I would not be a piano tuner right now. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't have made it. I would have been on YouTube just going, man, look at these cool guys doing this stuff. I never would have made it. Jack and having that mentor during that early phase was key to success. So yeah, you can learn a lot on YouTube. I don't think you'll become a master piano technician on YouTube though. Indecision. If you think, well, yeah, I want to do this, but I'm not sure. I might just think about it. And a lot of people do that. I mean, so many people thinking about this for so long. Like what independence and control, flexibility, you're giving away financial freedom, you're giving away your passion and creativity, and you're giving away and you're delaying your life's impact. If you just sit around and think, well, I don't know, I like this idea, but I'm just going to think about it. Guys, I want people in the mentorship who really believe in it and who are willing to go, I'm in, I'm doing this. You know, that's the people I see succeed. And I've had these questions from people throughout the last 6 months. They go, well, how many people have done this? And how many people have made money doing this? And I said, listen, every person that's done this and actually done what I told them to do is making money. And you can look at them. They're right there on our website. Go to Apex Piano. You can see all the people. I have their stories. And the cool thing is you can actually click right on their website and you can see what they're doing in their local town, 100% of people who are going to follow this roadmap are going to make money. All right. So what's going to happen if you just sit around and think about it? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. You know that it took 60% of people who got a college education took 6 years to do it, okay? That's 60% of confirmed bachelor's degree earners graduated within 6 years. And the average cost of attendance is over $207,000, all right? This is the reality of this. After those 6 years and over $200,000, you're still not guaranteed a job. Trust me. You could go out there and just be like, I can't even earn money in my field. How many people have you met who have a field that they've learned, but they're not even working in that field because they couldn't get a job or whatever happens? Even if they get a job, let's say you're successful, the median starting salary for a college graduate is $47,000. So you can spend $207,000 on average 6 years, and you can hope to get a job paying you $47,000. Now, this isn't a bad idea. A lot of people like to do that. But they're not their own business owner. These are not business owners who have figured out, hey, I can make my own schedule. I can make my own rates. I can work with the clients I want to work with. I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. I can be my own boss. All right. It's a no-brainer. For money and time, this costs less to learn than going to college by far. And you can start faster by far and make more money by far than going to college. All right. So my dad always said, work smarter, not harder. So manual labor versus piano tuning. If you think, well, I just go get me a job working, laying tile, you can do that for a while. You know what I mean? But look at this guy working on this piano in this air conditioning. He's got a nice white shirt on. He's got nice hair. And he's not going to break a sweat today. And he's going to out earn the manual laborer. That's just true. It doesn't matter what field, he's going to out earn those people, and he's not going to even sweat. Now, you might have to get on the floor and fix a pedal or something. He might have to get out some glue or something, but he's not going to do 8 hours of laying tile or standing outside in the hot sun. He's not going to do it. So it's one small step today. If you think that you really can do this, if you think, yeah, dude, this is it. If you listen to me and you think, I really, really want to do this, that's it. If that's you, then I want you to think about this small step can change everything. Say what you're going to get in Apex. I can invite you into the mentorship. You're going to get those 4 modules: the tuning, repairs, the business launch, the regulation, and the voicing module. If you get the whole mentorship, if you're all in, then you're going to get all those modules, and you're going to get unlimited access to the VIP mentorship, all right? So you're going to get VIP access, weekly live stream sessions, archives, lifetime access. You can go at your own pace. There's no pressure. Step-by-step lessons, the foundations of becoming a master tech, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Certification, you're going to get your master certification and your certified piano technician certificate. You're going to get one-on-one help from me. You're going to get community access. I'm going to help you get a tool supply account. I had a whole list of extras that I'm giving you, and I don't have them on this slide deck, but like Google Drive access, you're going to get all the templates that I've ever done, like my all my business templates. You can do all my postcards. You have all these email templates that you can use for setting up Gazelle. I'm going to help you set all that up. It's like an entire business. It's not a franchise because it's going to be your business. You can start, Bob's Piano Tuning in Detroit. You can do whatever business name, but you're going to be a certified Apex Tech, and you're going to rise above. And let me show you guys this right here. If you go over to apexpiano.com, all right? And I'll show you the pricing, the current pricing right now during this webinar. And you can scroll down, you can read. There's TJ, there's Joe, there's Karina. We talked about all those guys. A picture of me when I had long hair. All right, so you get down here, and there's a couple different options. So if you want to get all in, if you're going to go all in, the complete mentorship, it's on sale because usually it's $10,000. Right now, you can get it. It's like 30% off, so $6,700. Instant access to all these modules. You're going to save over $3,500. You're getting, this is really the best deal right now. If you know you're all in, then you can do that. Okay, you don't even have to use the coupon code. If you just click Pay in Full, it's going to open right up, and I believe it's going to be $6,700. All right, right there. That's it. And this is just for this week. These prices are going to change. This is just for this week and just for this webinar. All right. So you're saving a lot of money if you just pay in full and you do the whole thing. Now, if you say, look, I'm totally sold into this, I just don't have that kind of cash laying around, I can't fling this much money, first of all, do everything you can to do that if you're really all in. Ask your uncle, go get a loan. I know that a lot of people start this, they just go to the bank and they say, look, I'm trying to do this. This is a career. It's an investment. And the bank says, okay. And they write them a loan and they can do the whole thing. So you're going to save money and get everything you need to start your business if you do that. If you say, look, I can't afford that, but I want to do this, then you can enter into the flagship tuning module. Okay, this week you can get this for $1,800, so you can just get started. And remember that tuning module is like the bread and butter of the business. So once you know how to do this tuning thing, it's like nobody can ever take this from you. This is you learning a skill that will pay you over and over and over and over again. All right, now if you're like, man, I love this, I don't even have $1,800. You can pay with Affirm and you can get payments down as low as like probably 40, 50, 60 bucks a month. All right. You can get 0% interest on that $1,800. So all you got to do is click pay as you go. If you want to use Affirm, okay, then all you have to do is say, I believe you have to say check out as guest and you have to pick a different payment method. Okay. So there's different payment methods on here. Let's see, continue as guest. And then you can go down here and you can click pay with Affirm, okay? And it'll basically like log you in, take your information and tell you if you can get this with Affirm payment plan. So all you got to do is get to this Affirm pay over time and use that to pay now, because it's going to open up and ask you a couple questions. So that's all you have to do if you want to do this. But I'll go back to this and let you know what it is. Right now, this week, and just for this week, this is what you can do. You can enter in the entire mentorship for $6,700. That's saving, what is that? I got to do the math on that. I think it was 30 some percent off is what I did. But let's see. You're saving $3,300 off the thing. And really, you're saving over $3,500. If you go pay as you go, you have to buy every module. So you have to, you can take it a little bit slower, but you're always going to have to kind of buy the next module. If you do this now, you'll have everything you need. You won't have to wait to get certified. You can start your business sooner and you get lifetime VIP access so you can take your time. Some people start and they get nervous, like, well, I started this, but then I got busy and then I couldn't finish it this year. There's no time limit anymore for the mentorship. Once you're in, you're in. And we're 100% committed to helping you start your business. Let's see here. Beyond that, the tax code is written for business owners, so starting your own business is the fastest way to wealth. And I'd say piano tuning has a higher success rate. Yeah, that's true. I would say, yeah. Business, the tax code, it's great because you can, in your business, if you have expenses, you can write them off and you can pay, less taxes. And if you have a job, they just kind of take your money out. Now you do have business expenses, business taxes, things like that happen. But yeah, this is a super high success rate business. In fact, like I said, people ask me, how many percentage of people I think they're looking for like a confirmation that this is going to work for them. Like will this really work? And look, 100% of people who have taken this program and done exactly what I said, they've made money and they just keep texting me back and telling me they're making money. And I put 4 of them on the website, but this year I'd really like to bring them in and just talk more about what they've done. But like I already told you, Emerson's making $600 a day. Jack was telling me that, and I'm real excited that he texted me that because that's kind of the goal. Bovie Piano Tuning, he's making over $5,000 a month, and TJ was able to knock this out in his first year, make $50,000. That was more than he was making in his full-time job, he told me. And of course it is, because like we know that even the median full-time job out of college is $47,000. So you can make $47,000 working very part-time at this and then do something else you want to do with your life. You know what I mean? Do something with your life that is great for you, instead of just working at a job. You're going to work for somebody and then someday they'll just lay you off. That's why after I got laid off, not to be like I was bitter or anything, but I was like, man, I worked my butt off. And then when things were rough, they just said, hey, we can't pay you anymore. You're laid off. Like that's That's crushing, like that's super crushing. And I didn't want to do that again. I thought, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do my own business. I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to, if I want to raise my prices, if I want to work on Friday, if I don't want to work on Friday, if I want to take off a week. In fact, it was going to snow. This huge snow is coming in Nashville. And they're like, we're Snowmageddon. We're on the eve of Snowmageddon. Like it could be the biggest snowstorm of the entire universe. And I talked to I work at a church. I'm a worship director, like an interim worship director, and I texted the pastor. I said, "Hey, are we really going to cancel church? Because I'm thinking about going to Florida tomorrow." And he's like cracking up. He's like, "Dude, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard." I think it's because, I can just go to Florida tomorrow. I might just get. I kind of told my wife, let's just not do it. Let's wait and see. They're saying the power's going to be out, everything's going to be out. I don't have to talk to my boss. I don't have to make anything. I can just literally tomorrow get in my car and drive to Florida. I can cancel my appointments and redo them when I get back, because piano tuning is very flexible. My clients would not care. The people that I have on my schedule for tomorrow's tunings would be like, oh, yeah, we'll see you next week, when you get back. That's owning your own business. That's really the freedom. You can't pay that freedom is worth so much. I can't even stress to you how much that is worth. Being able to just go, I can come and go and work when I want to and name my own price. I mean, honestly, guys, to be real with you, this would be really hard to do as a plumber or an electrician or some of these bigger trades, because there's so much competition in a lot of companies and there's so much pay that's kind of set. When you are the only piano tuner in Oklahoma, in a 100-mile radius of Oklahoma City, then you pretty much can work when you want and make the payments that you say that what you want. I can work this day. I can work that day. I can charge this much. I know piano tuners that charge upward to $375 per tuning. And I knew a guy that was charging $350 a tuning plus extra, like every little extra thing was like $50. It was like every appointment is probably making like $500 or $600, And so it's really a great business to start. If you want to go all in, all you got to do is click pay in full and get this going. You don't even have to use the coupon code New Year 2026 because it's automatically applied when you click this button. Go to apexpiano.com, click this button, pay in full, and you can get the entire mentorship. If you have any questions, of course, send me a chat, send me a text, and just get a hold of me through the website. I mean, I'm very easy to get a hold of. In fact, you can just go on there. I mean, you can click. I think you can click contact right here, and I have my phone number right there. All right. And then you can actually do the online contact form. I think that's still working. Yep, that's still working. All right. So you got to keep it all together. You got to keep it all working. All right, guys. Thank you for coming to this webinar. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good night and avoid the snow. If you're in the United States, it's like 2 million some people. It's like 2,000 miles wide or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll be around. Hopefully I'll have power and I can help you guys get started this